1-2 to Jody. Swinging. Driving it deep. Deep left center. Grand slam. Grand slam. Grand slam. The summer of '83 is brought to you in part by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers, your neighborhood True Value hardware stores, Heileman's Old Style, pure brewed using sparkling pure virgin spring water, Toyota's new cars and trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. Everybody, Milo Hamilton with a new member of the Cubs and the pitching staff, Scott Sanderson. Scott, when we were on the Caravan recently, and before we all take a look at the summer of '83 with the Cubs coming up shortly, I want to talk about the trade that brought you over here and talk a little bit about you, of course. When we were on the Caravan together back in January, you heard about it from everybody. You know the people that went over. Good hitting prospect, Carmelo Martinez, third baseman, Fritz Connolly, pitching left-hander, Craig Lefferts. So you heard why you're here, and you know you're being counted on.
Well, Milo, I realize that the Cubs gave up an awful lot of talent to bring me here to Chicago, and they expect an awful lot from me. That's fine with me because I expect an awful lot from myself, and by the end of the '84 season, I think the Cub fans will be thrilled with the trade.
Scott, when I think back of the era, if it were, that you came out of in high school here, you've come home for all practical purposes. You played up on the North Shore. You played with and against some pretty good high school baseball players.
Well, a lot of players that I played with in high school or against have ended up in the major leagues. Charlie Liebrandt, Johnny Castino, Ross Baumgarten. There was many there to choose from.
Went to the big leagues and went to Montreal, what, about 5.5 years?
Right, 5.5 years with the Expos in the major leagues.
I know as a youngster, when you used to come here and go out in the bleachers or in the stands and watch the Cubs, and then to have had your first big league start be here, it had to be a special thrill.
It was a big thrill for me. Of course, just getting to the major leagues was so important, but then to get my first game in the major leagues here in Chicago against the Cubs, my family and friends all came out, and it turned out to be a very good afternoon.
Then there was another afternoon that wasn't so good. The 4th of July last year, you tripped after you got by first base, a serious injury. They told you, hey, you can have the rest of the year off. You showed them a little bulldog in Scott Sanderson. You worked like the Dickens, came back, and then you pitched very well here again.
Well, it was important to me to come back and show the Expos that not only did I still have the same pitching intensity, but also the desire to pitch for that club. I thought I could come back in the month of September and help them to a pennant.
You hurt your hand. Everybody thought it was an ankle or a knee at first. And as it turned out, the hand around the thumb, you really had to have some surgery, didn't you?
Well, I tore ligaments and severed the muscle in the thumb on my pitching hand. And as I was limping off the field because my ankle hurt, I realized that the thumb was a more serious problem.
And you're all right now?
Everything's fine. As a matter of fact, I think if I hadn't have worked so hard to come back, I don't think any team in baseball, especially the Cubs, would have taken the chance on acquiring me in a trade during the offseason.
Scott Sanderson, you have pitched against this club. You know that they can hurt you with their bats. You've heard all the plaudits about the double play combination of Bo and Sandberg. We were the best defensive team in the National League. I guess if a pitcher can go someplace new and hear about the run production and the defense, he says, hey, if I pitch my game, I got a chance to win some games.
Milo, a pitcher can't ask for anything more from his teammates other than score runs for me and catch the ball when it's hit. Shoot, if we can't win with that, then the pitching staff is in trouble.
As you come over here now, Jim Frey has told you and told everybody on the Caravan he likes a 4-man rotation. Are you comfortable with that?
I'm very comfortable. The more times I can get the ball during the course of the season and get out there and pitch, that's what I'm paid for, that's what I'm here for, and that's fine with me.
Scott, you've pretty well told the fans that you're over here to do a job, and before we get ready to put up all the good figures for you for '84, what do you say we kind of look along with the fans and relive some of the good memories of the 1983 Cubs? One thing the 1983 Cubs could always be counted on for was their offense. Boy, did they score some runs. Only one other team in the National League scored more. And talk about offense, the lineup contributed from top to bottom. just look at what shortstop Larry Boa did in '83. Not only did he sparkle in the field as usual, but Larry hit just under .270. Then there was Ron Cey. He led with 90 RBIs. Center fielder Mel Hall hit .283 and led the Cubs in slugging percentage while vying for National League Rookie of the Year honors. And what about sleek Ryne Sandberg? The Cubs second baseman did it all in '83. Consistent Keith Moreland had his biggest season in the majors. The likable Texan found a home in right field, and he also found a lot of hits. Moreland led the Cubs with a .302 average, and that put him in the top 10 among National League hitters.
There's a line drive between them. The Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow. That's it. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow. The Cubs win. Let's hope he hits one between them. He did. Base hit. There's a runner on third. He's heading for the plate. Here is the throw. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow. Jody Davis did it again on the very first pitch. Look at the Cubs. Listen to the crowd. Oh, I wish you were all here today.
The Cubs, who led the National League in fielding for the first time in 16 years, made the double play a thing of beauty. Sandberg and Boa made it look easy. And Mel Hall. Well, words couldn't describe his work in the outfield.
He's got to play it to play. Oh, thank God. Swings a bouncing ball, steps on third for one, throws the second for two. Triple play! Triple play! Triple play!
The Cubs were dialing long distance in '83. Their 140 homers topped the National League East and were the most by a Cubs team since 1970. The big guns, of course, were Jody Davis and Ron Cey.
There goes one, way back. Ron Cey's first as a Cub. Holy cow. The Penguin got one. There it goes, way back. It might be, it could be. Holy Wrigley Field has gone bananas.
There's a drive, way back. The ballpark will never hold it. Waveland Avenue, wave it over Waveland.
There's a long drive, deep left center, way back, might be out of here. Grand slam! Another grand slam for Jody Davis.
All right, a 3-2. And there's a high drive to right. Well hit. And dreams do come true. A grand slam for all. Holy Toledo! The starters had their moments, led by Dick Ruthven's 5 complete games. But the grand man was Big Lee Smith. He led the National League in saves, and more than one manager was heard to mutter, "He's unhittable." There were the thrills and spills of '83. Of course, every season has its peaks and valleys. Who can forget last June when the Cubs won 18-11, sparked by the heroics of Jody Davis, bringing them to within 2 games of first place on the 4th of July. Remember the unusual? For example, when's the last time you saw Fergie hit a triple? Look out. That hit him in the helmet, and here goes Moreland, and he's not going to deck. The old linebacker took him out, and it'll be 1st and 10 in the middle of the mound. Oh, brother. That wasn't one of those, I think I'm coming out. He was going out from the very beginning.
And the benches have emptied. 7-0 in favor of the Cubs. And here's Dickie Knoll. Line drive, base hit. 1 run in, 2 runs in. 9-0 Cubs. Two balls and a strike. Get on the phone, call everybody. Tell them to turn the TV on. Ground ball, that should be 1 out. Larry Boa, 2 to go. Hold everything. Right back in the pitcher. He's got it. Throw him out. 2 gone. Eddie Milner, 1 of 2 men to reach base. Base hit. Oh, how close can you come? The pitch. Fly ball, deep. Larry Bowa's got it. 1 hit shutout. He came within 1 man of pitching a no-hitter. 'Can't make the play. He falls down. He's looking for the ball. Here comes Say. He's going to try for an inside the Parker. Hey, Say on inside the park. Home run. Now I have seen everything. Holy cow.
1983 saw the Cubs unveil a number of talented rookies. Dan Roan proved to be helpful in a pinch. Mel Hall was spectacular all season. But what a month he had in August. At one point, Mel hit 5 homers in 11 at-bats to finish with 17 homers and 56 runs batted in. Catcher Mike Diaz chipped in. So did Joe Carter. Look at this defense by young Dave Owen. The Summer of '83, brought to you in part by Toyota Motor Sales and your local Toyota dealer. Of 80, nearly 1.5 million Cub fans, 7th best in the club's 108-year history, had come to Wrigley Field. Then on October 6th, the Cubs began paving the way for '84 by naming Jim Frey as their new manager.
I want to win games, and I'm going to try everything I can to get Dallas Green to get the best players, and I'm going to try everything I can to make the players play better. And there is absolutely no other motivation I have for coming to Chicago. None. Absolutely none. I don't want to say we're going to win 81 games. We might win more. I don't know what the limits are. But we're going to go for it. I'm going to tell you right now, Jim Frey is not ashamed to say, I'm going to try to win.
I'm Milo Hamilton. Why not come out and join us for more of the fun in 1984? We'll be looking for you.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's root for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame. for it's what? Ball game. Hey, let's get some